something, but I'll let you take your time with that.
That's okay. I'll research that in the off time.
Welcome back to Odyssey of the Dragonlords. Our heroes, we left them off with the defeat of Esther Arkelander, the undead-ish um, sailor and legendary warrior who gave them quite a battle. Kira sacrificing some of her godly powers to save the group, Solano Deo dying in the process and being visited by Versi to replenish his life
I
force.
think it's kind of funny that. Yep.
Hmm?
I think it's kind of. I think it was just kind of funny. Like all the undead were chasing the cleric.
Uh,
That's funny.
yeah, and then as you sail back to Mytros, Zark, you have felt a little shudder in your satchel, and the dragon egg in its speckled bronze color begin to vibrate on the seas of the Cerulean Gulf. You gathered around, kept it warm, exposing it to the sun, and within an hour or so, it cracked. A little head sort of peeked out, and you were the first being that it laid eyes on. I think Solano Deo helped you with the Dragonborn Oath, or the Oath Sworn, the Dragon Oath, whatever it was.
Um, no, I actually, because I can change my spells up, and you had mentioned that this might be coming soon. I had added that to my spell list, and I said, I cannot possess you, for you belong to yourself. I cannot command you, for you are a free creature. We shall serve each other in the ways we both require. We will increase our wealth by righteous means. We will achieve happiness and harmony through knowledge. We will aid those of our blood to achieve their great destinies. We will avenge those of our blood who have been done harm. I am blood of your blood and bone of your bone forever.
And you see this sort of sparkle ignite in this little wormling's eyes as it sort of coos and cracks out of the egg, moving towards you for warmth, for comfort. Sort of starts to get really friendly, sniffing around, looking for some grub. Crawls up your armor, sniffs your ear, plays with your horns.
All right, just you can lay on the shoulders. Just calm down and like kind of push his face off my horns, because
Would you
that's
say the personality is more like a dog or a cat? Like meow. It was like climb on the meow.
I would potentially see it as more of like a pet monkey at this point, where it's climbing on me and hanging on me, and like very curious. Possibly gonna name him George.
Why?
That's a great name.
It's like, oh, Sark and his dragon George. That does not strike fear in the enemies.
And George spelled Jorge, by the way, not any other.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's maybe you got to spell word.
So you, with the captain...
do have a...
Yeah, go ahead.
I do have a question to help our viewers understand. Does Sarin have a life bond with a ship now? Is he the ship's captain, and like, is it connected to him now?
No, that was what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, how would you know that?
Well,
Possibly an Arcana.
try to look at me and see if they both glow the same color, the ship and me.
Well, you're not glowing.
It's magic, I don't...
Sure, but you do feel comfortable at the helm of the ship. As you get to know it with each wave, you gain confidence in directing it, feeling it as an extension of yourself in some ways.
Thank you. It's not a bad feeling. Do we have anything bad coming from it now that the other ghost is gone now?
Hmm.
So you sailed through the seas as the storms calmed down from the battle within a few days. Make sure you all have a long rest so you're well rested. You arrived in Mytros to quite a crowd as they saw the ship coming into the harbor. It's a beautiful day, some light clouds, a light breeze coming in. There are many people out and about on the streets, and obviously you have to sort of slow down as you come into the harbor. And quickly you had gained a crowd. And you pass this giant statue of the Colossus of Pythor. You see the crumbling of its partner statue at the other side of the opening to the harbor, once a statue similar to Pythor. And you make your way through the harbor. You arrive, as stated in the last session weeks ago, that a giant silver dragon comes swooping down with King Acastus on it and boasting, "Aha, the heroes! Welcome back! Look, everyone! Your king has sent these heroes to retrieve the legendary Ultros, and they have," and he looks it up and down and says, "although it could use a few repairs, but that is no fault of these heroes. They did their best." Queen Valis is there.
Did our best?
Do not.
We survived.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's all we can ask for non-royalty.
Hey, DM.
Mm-hmm. It says I'm streaming
Mike
on
doesn't
here.
think you're streaming anything.
Yeah, I don't have my Twitch up, but it says at least in one section that it's streaming, but I'll check it out. Honestly,
Recording
though,
audio. Still not as much as this audio.
yeah, if I have the Twitch stream,
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to.
I was gonna say I'm more interested in the recording than the stream because it's real laggy. Looks like I'm gonna have to pay the extra for the 50 megs. Oh, that's weird. It says
Yeah, if you want to build.
I don't know if I want to build. Yeah, I'm not worried about the stream, guys. There's just too much resources for this old internet strain. So, King Acosta says, yes, you did survive. Although, rumor has it, you needed some divine intervention from the granddaughter of the Titan himself, the Lord of Storms. Are your loyalties with the settlers or among the Titans?
So, our allegiances to everybody.
Well, the Ultros is a relic from
My
bygone
allegiance is
days.
to Thyrea.
I see. Well, I don't believe we need ancient ships to stand up to the power of the Titans. We will need dragons. And look at that. The Minotaur has got himself a dragon, he says to the crowd, and you see some of them chuckle and a little girl kind of giggling, but also trying to peer over the crowd to see the little dragon.
How old is he again?
Gold.
Okay, cool gold.
We should have hit the dragon.
I hit him on the head as he's sitting on my shoulders.
He's just on your shoulder. He just looks like a man turret.
Well, the
We
Oath
should have hit
of
him. Now they're gonna
Peace.
try and steal him.
Yeah.
The Oath of
They're gonna
Peace
expect
is
a lot more from me now.
ending in a matter of perhaps a few moons. And your little dragon will not be able to fight the power of the Titans, but here, see my great, wonderful dragon Icarus. He has the power to stand up to the Titans and their ridiculous power over the land. Queen Valis obviously pushes past, brushes by her husband, and says, "The city of Mytros needs heroes now more than ever." Is this all on the ship? Just you five? How did you manage to crew the ship with so few people?
Lots of wind. Lots and lots of wind.
We have a good captain.
Well, I will see if I can do something about that before your next voyage. But it seems that it'll have to be docked for now to get some repairs. But the city is in celebration. Although I don't encourage you to celebrate too long, it's a wonderful time to heal from your wounds, repair your ship, and get enough provisions for the long journey ahead. King Akassus then turns to the crowd,
Your help.
and he says, "Now everyone, the heroes of the Heartlands are back just in time for the great games!" And the crowd cheers, and you see a little parting of the crowd as a young man kind of runs through. He's got a torch in one hand, running through the crowd, and he runs around the harbor, and there's people cheering him along the whole way. You sort of watch as he takes this torch, and he moves towards the Colossus of Pythor, that large statue standing at the harbor entrance, and lights a grand torch sort of at the foot of the statue, and the crowd cheers. Valis approaches you, and she says, "Now is no time to let your guard down. The Great Games are a bit of a political power tool, and I could use you on God's side. You see, all the factions use the games to gain power, to gain prestige, to gain coin. If you don't want to join the games, you don't have to, but anyone can join, and beings from all across the Thylea come into Mytros for this event. We have a night to settle into town, to prepare for the games if necessary, and preliminary events start tomorrow. Do you have any questions or needs that I can perhaps provide?"
What does the Zark need? Oil or something? Grease? What is it?
He's leading.
Yeah, he needs
He's-
grease.
Jesus. Follow me everywhere.
You need the grease.
What kind of, do you know what specific games that will be played tomorrow that we can possibly prepare ourselves today for?
Oh, sure. The preliminary games are sort of the classic athletics games that you might have heard of from previous games. The traditions don't change much from year to year. So, boxing, wrestling, throwing discs and javelins, archery, of course. There's chariot racing, running, climbing, swimming, jumping, that sort of thing. They're preliminary events, but you do need to qualify in order to get into the main events, the grand spectacles.
You get to win.
What's that?
How many games do you have to win to get into the primary rounds?
Oh, you just need to qualify for one, and then you're sort of into the primaries.
What happens if you lose a game?
Oh, well, for the preliminaries, you can try another preliminary game to qualify, or you don't have to, and you can be a spectator. Cheer on your greatest warrior.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure if we lost a game, we're not killed.
Oh, no, Mytros is civilized.
not bad.
Well, she turns to Zark and says,
Civilized?
Mostly
Civilized.
I have put in certain conditions for you, Zark, knowing that you are part of the heroes of Thylea. It is understood by all of the organizers and participants that you are not to be sacrificed among the other sacrifices to the Titans. However, I cannot prevent other Minotaur sacrifices, for it has been a barbaric tradition for many great games, and I tried to flex my political power to remove it. In fact, I try every year, and the Order of Sidon has voted me out. They voted that the Minotaur sacrifices will continue. There's too much other factions that benefit from such barbaric traditions.
Say if we win, can we stop these sacrifices?
I suppose you
Or
would,
that's what I-
you would definitely gain the favor of the citizens of Mytros. You would still have to engage in the politics, which can be quite more complex than simply gaining favor of the people, although having people on your side may help.
So if we win, we can stop them from sacrificing Minotaurs.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I don't know if it's that easy. There are many factions in Mytros, and I'm one of the few that actually care about the souls of the Minotaurs. My husband doesn't seem to care. The Order of Sidon, the Cult of Lutheria, they have other things that their devotees pay attention to.
Be good to just break an old tradition that doesn't make sense.
Well, I agree, Saren, and perhaps we can have some influence, but win the games first.
I'm in.
You got out, what do you say?
I said win the games first, and
But win the games first.
Alistair said he's in.
Alistair's in.
What are you gonna play? You're just a woman.
So we also don't have a chariot or horses.
Well, I have to give you the chariots. You don't have to bring.
Oh, yes. You don't need to supply javelins or discus either. These are all provided to the participants of the games. There is a special chariot game that, if you're interested, it would behoove you to sort of prepare your own chariot if you meet at the Great Temple. I would be happy to assist you in preparing your chariot, but that isn't until after preliminary games.
Those are the main games. Okay, so don't worry about that for now.
Right, there's sort of a preliminary chariot event and a grand spectacle chariot event. The preliminaries, everyone is issued the same cart, and the grand spectacle, each team has options to bring in carts of their own adaptations.
So you're saying we'll be at a disadvantage?
Oh no, I'm saying come to the Temple of the Five Gods, maybe after the preliminary events, and we can perhaps make some changes to the cart that I have prepared for you. If you will be my heroes, if you will stand with me, the goddess of wisdom, and the five gods, we need it now more than ever.
I'll think about it once we get past the first preliminaries. So, what were the games? Discus, Chariot, Javelin Throwing?
Yeah, they're all scheduled for tomorrow. Yep, there are several of them. I think archery was one. Yep, archery's one. Wrestling, boxing. So those are all going to be sort of easy little roles.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'll do the merit one, just so I can deal with that. I'm not very strong.
Well, we're scheduled for tomorrow. You see people sort of celebrating and preparing. You see a sign up in the streets at various places. You also see quite a few different folks coming into the city. You see other heroes that look to be not from Mytros specifically. Let's see. What do you see? I'll find what you see. But you see folks from Aresia and from just all over. You even see folks that you recall and remember. The Lolatis from Astoria. You even see Creon, the giant from the woods that you became friends with.
Hey, Crayon!
You guys have a look around before.
Great games, heroes, my friends.
King Crayon!
Yeah, he's gonna kill whoever in the wrestling ring.
I'm not wrestling. I am here to cheer you on.
Oh, wonderful, Crayon.
He has a giant something. Finger.
You see the crowd part a little
I look
bit.
at Crayon.
Go ahead.
I look at Crayon and I say, if I'm gonna enter these games, would you do me the honor of letting me sit on your shoulder as you walk me into the games?
Oh, absolutely. I would be honored, and I cheer for you, Zark. They call you Grease Lightning.
Well, I don't know about the Grease Lightning thing, but I really appreciate that. Just like the way that we brought you back to town. How's that been going, by the way? Everything good over there? You keeping them safe?
Yeah.
Did you eat them?
Eat?
You didn't eat them, right?
No, Creon's friend.
Okay. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure. You know, they were afraid of that. Might as well get that out of the way. We knew you wouldn't.
So yeah, throughout the city, I also should remind you that as you feel the energy of the city amping up for the Great Games, you also had come across a crowd that was gathering around a very realistic statue of a bard in the city. So realistic that the clothes had folds and it looked lifelike.
Do we know who the statue represents?
The woman seems. You hear some people say that it suddenly appeared in the city street. The woman's face has a expression of abject terror, and she holds an instrument in her hands that is also stone.
What type of instrument?
A lute.
Is Kira near us?
She is. Kira's hanging out with you.
And I'm gonna ask Kira, like, do you know anything about this lute that this bard is holding? Does it look familiar?
No, that looks like a normal lute. I've heard through various channels that, you know, us bards are being targeted. I think I've told you that my instruments have been stolen, and there's been a few other bards that have simply disappeared. I'm afraid this may be sort of a, I don't know if it's a calling card. I don't know if it's a warning,
Any
perhaps.
mark on the store or anything?
Why don't we roll some dice? Roll perception or investigation.
Work.
It does. Yeah, you can definitely check out its exquisite detail. And as you explore there, it doesn't appear to be a mark, but you see that the eyes are wide, and she wasn't in the process of, I mean, it looks like she was sort of in the process of playing, but like her facial expressions just looks terrified and in shock.
What's the size of the statue?
She's a human woman, so she's
Okay.
5'5".
Like, is it that accurate for how tall the statue is, or is it like a large statue?
It is accurate. It is a 5'5" statue. She stands, there's no base to the statue, it's as if she was standing on the cobblestone street itself.
Oh, creepy.
Didn't we encounter something like this before?
I briefly mentioned it at the end of the last stream. That didn't get...
Okay, that's what it was.
I thought I'd just sort of replaying it.
Yeah, that's
Shortly, some centurions arrive, and they ask everyone, clear away, clear away. They're wearing their centurion uniforms, are very serious, and you see them sort of, back up, back up. And they start to talk amongst themselves, gathering around the statue.
Hear what they're saying?
Yeah, roll perception.
No. Looks like it was a blind roll.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you kind of hear them mumbling about another one and things like that. Saren, your keen ears pick up on the phrase Lady of Coins, and they're definitely referencing that this isn't the first time it's happened.
Lady is a coin to rename though.
Heard of powerful beings that can turn creatures to stone.
We've bought a few. In fact, I might have an egg or two of those things.
What?
That would actually do. Okay, so it doesn't. It's not thing where anything weird if it was in the city. So does Lady of Coins remind me of anything? Like a news that I've heard about Lady of Coin? Or is it the same?
Let me think. Roll. Are you just sort of thinking about what you might have heard around town?
I'm just recalling if I've heard anything of it.
Yeah,
It sounds
roll
familiar, so-
history. Roll history, sure. You cannot think of hearing that phrase at all. It's a brand new phrase to you, Saren.
Lady of Coin, just gonna write it down.
Alistair, a short time before you had joined us, we had gone up against some basilisks that were turning people to stone as far as we could tell, and they tried to sacrifice my sister to these things. So just so you know,
Were they in such detail as this statue?
don't know. All we know is they would strap people to rocks, and they would disappear, and we followed them back to their den, and we eradicated what basilisks we could find in there. And some of us might have taken eggs, which honestly have started to smell now, but
Yeah, you should have ate them within a day or two.
yep. So just wanted to give you a background that we have encountered things that would turn things to stone before.
I'm happy that you explained the smell. I thought it was just you.
Well,
How long do Basilisk exit last?
we researched this, and I
yeah.
think we came up with like a day.
3 tops.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's find some thousand egg then. He had his
Yeah,
basilisk.
so I'm gonna actually toss this basilisk egg out because we tried to sell this thing at one point in time, and the guy seemed very shady, and a lot of stuff went down, and yeah, let's just not talk about that. I'm just gonna throw it away.
Save it for the games.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Good idea.
Okay.
Yep.
You're in the city of Mytros, and there's...
Chariot race specifically.
Sure. So you see a
Is it-
sort of rubbish bin nearby, but as you're about to toss it, you think otherwise and put it back in your stinky, sticky satchel. The centurions actually turn to you as they smell this thing, and they give you a look and sort of shake their heads and turn back to the statue.
Okay. I guess we could just go to the just figure out, go to a tavern or something, and just get rumors about people turning into stone, see if there's any correlation between them.
A
We got one
centurion,
evening before the games, right?
yes, a centurion turns to look at you,
Alright.
Saren, and he's got a mustache and his helmet on, and he just gives you sort of a confused look after you said something about rumors and taverns, and turns back to the statue.
So let's go ask him. Well, was that person alive before they turned into a statue? Is this just a normal thing, people turning into statues, like asking the god?
Oh, I can't believe you haven't heard. Yes, it's increasingly normal. Not something we would hope to be occurring as frequently as it has. But yes, Lord Taran, he's been publicly calling for the Lady of Coins to be brought to justice.
Lady of Coin?
Yes,
Statue.
well, no, this statue is one of her victims. Surely you've maybe heard that the Lady of Coins is the leader of a underground cult.
Hmm? Sounds like a thing.
Sure.
So they just turn people into statues for some reason?
We're not quite sure. I
You
mean,
guys also have overground cults.
oh, well, the cult of Lutheria is overground, as you would say. Sure, but the cult of the snake,
That's true.
that is.
See that? I mean, I've heard of them before. I haven't seen them, but yeah.
Are you lying?
Know where this cult is? How come?
I was talking out loud in this cult. Yeah, this club. This cult subscription for a magazine that you have.
We'll just go ahead.
There are many cults in Mytros. Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Well done.
I mean, we honestly slightly just slaughtered a bunch of them. So,
Right.
I mean,
Yes, there is rumors that the Lady of Coins is a leader of the cult of the snake. Now, we don't have much evidence of the cult itself or any figure referencing themselves as a Lady of Coins, but I do know Lord Taran is actively looking to get to the bottom of that mystery.
Sounds like Lord Tehran kind of wants to lay you the coins.
Perhaps you can speak to him, of course. He is in the more affluent part of the city. He's got a villa at the Nerdagon estate.
He's probably crossed her in some way.
Over in this
Okay,
area.
okay, I guess we can go over there and just talk to him about it.
All right, you make your way through the city. People are excited to see you, asking for autographs on their cloaks and their boots, wanting to touch your staff as you walk through, Alistair. Just lots of attention as you walk through the city. It gets a little quieter as you pass into the upper hills where the estates are. The buildings are nicer. There's less people. The people that are around appear to be holding conversations, seemingly having all day, as opposed to the hustle and bustle of the lower parts of the city. You move through to a large estate with a gate and a couple of guards out front that is actually labeled Villa of the Nerdagons.
Is there anyone standing out front?
There is. It's the most opulent villa in the city. The house is difficult to see from where you are, but you could tell that the grounds are full of lush gardens, statuary, pools, and fields, and there's a large hedge maze with a big fountain shooting up from beyond the hedge that you can see. It's quite a grand estate. And out front, there are 2 guards, and they watch you approach. They look stern. They look serious. They are not moving, except for their heads, who turn to you as you approach the estate. You see beyond the gate several other captains and soldiers milling about in the courtyard. Can I help you?
Me and my companions are looking for Lord Tyrion.
There's no Lord Tyrion here. This is Tehran Nerdagon's estate.
Right.
Surely you know of Mr. Nerdagon.
Excuse my accent. Yes, of course we do.
You better. He is the descendant of the ancient Dragonlord Adonis Nerdagon. Unless you are living under a rock, you know that this is one of the most wealthy men in the city of Mytros.
Yeah. Do you know who we are? Why haven't you let us in yet?
I mean, you do understand that he's a spader. Like, he kind of does basically live under a rock, in my opinion. So, just take that into account, please.
They turn to each other. The second one sort of shrugs. The first one turns back to you and he says, Mr. Nerdagon is not having guests, even guests with such fame as yourselves at this time. What business do you have with Mr. Nerdagon? We can pass it along.
Anything to do with the Lady of Coin?
Lady of Coins. He turns to his other guard there, whispers to him, mumbles a little bit, and the other guard sort of nods and turns back and he says, wait here. And he stands there while his the second guard kind of walks into the estate, sort of at a fast walk, a slight jog. He talks to some other soldiers who look over at the gate towards you all, and he runs off towards the estate. The soldier, the guard standing by you, seems to be a little uncomfortable as he shifts back and forth, waiting.
Perfect.
Within a few moments.
And
Go ahead.
we're going to stand there completely still and stoic.
Oh, I was gonna use suggestion on this remaining guard to open the gate.
Okay, let me bring out. What is it you suggest?
I
Wisdom
suggest that
save
you open
throw.
the gate.
Sure. That's a wisdom save, and your spell save DC.
Hang on, I think I'm on a different sheet. My spell save is it's probably Constitution.
If you just open up your sheet, double click yourself, go to, oh no, under your armor class, it'll say spell save DC.
DC 14,
All right.
which is my Constitution.
Sure. So what do you say to him?
You really should open the gate and let us in.
The magic comes out of your mouth, hits his ears, and you see him get a confused look on his face. And he very sternly turns to you and he says, you should really know who you are speaking to. And he remains still.
What?
Who are you, then?
Oh, I'm not referring to myself. I'm referring to the estate at which you stand, and I believe Mr. Nerdagon will grant you an audience. However, if you're going to give commands to Mr. Nerdagon, I encourage a little caution.
I didn't give any commands.
Your satyr friend here.
It's just standing here.
So, as you guys are having this conversation, the other guard comes up, and he sort of nods to the first one, like while he's 10 feet away, and he says, careful in there, and he opens the gate quietly and stands by it, ushering you into the estate. The guard that was walking up says, follow me, and leads you through the illustrious gardens and fountain all the way up the cobblestone pathway to the estate where Mr. Nerdagon stands outside of his elaborate home and greets you. You see, let's see if I can figure out exactly. He's a human, I believe.
It's a sentence. It's
Huh?
human.
So
I will just say that, Mike.
he is a human who, yeah, he's very regal and noble in his looks. He's very well put together with clean, high-end clothing. And he approaches you, doesn't offer a handshake, and he says, you have some information of the Lady of Coins, I presume?
Aaron,
Yeah.
that was you.
Like you said. Okay. I was supposed to roll something.
No, you're the one that's got information.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I was growling a blank.
You're the heroes of the prophecy, and you have shown interest in the Lady of Coins, the supposed leader of this thieves guild that's been tearing up this city. I'm here to clean up the city, and perhaps with your help, we can bring this criminal to justice.
We've seen a number of victims quite recently.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
Could say minutes, perhaps. Quite a startled expression on there.
Yes.
Of some sort.
The Lady of Coins seems to use the great games and all the influx of people into the city as an opportunity to increase her mischief.
That's what she's called mischief, since terrorism is more like it.
My thoughts exactly. She, in particular, causes my business quite a bit of trouble, and costs me quite a bit of coin. She's a self-styled folk hero who seems to rob from the rich and give to the poor, but the laws mean nothing to her.
Why it be so bad if she got certain people to stone?
My thoughts exactly.
So,
I'm sure you are aware that my business is in... He kind of clears his throat as he notices Zark there, and he says, certain trades...
We go again.
and the Lady of Coin is affecting my business. Do you know much about her? Do you know how she turns those to stone?
I know she needs some sort of cult, that's for sure.
I also have a guess at that, but if we can help you, maybe you can find some other avenues of business.
Other avenues.
Look for better.
I wouldn't expect a Minotaur to understand the market value of your kind.
Is Billbug with us?
He's always with us. We just forget he's there. That's a joke.
Same thing with Kira.
So we have a lot. Yeah.
And I think we left the stay here in the forest.
Is this the guy that we stole Billbug from?
No, there are a lot of slave traders.
There were a lot of slave traders. This particular slave trader did not own Bulbug.
Okay, we'll find that.
That's helpful.
Okay. So, so we get rid of this problem. What? Do we get some sort of reward or something?
Ah, yes, of course. Let's see. Bring me the lady's head, and I'll give you 5,000 drachma.
I'll see if I can raise the price.
Yeah, I think we did this at the end of the session.
Slavery.
What did we get to? You remember?
9,000. Or was, I thought it was
27,000 is what I remember.
No. Liar. Lies.
I think
Free all the Minotaurs.
I'm,
Yeah.
You never the golden house.
I'm pretty sure they just gave us.
I'm good with 9,000. I don't remember what it was, and the audio's off on that. So yeah, 9,000 gold. He tells you that
Can you?
she's a Medusa. She can petrify anyone who crosses her. I suspect that
Very
she is the leader of what's known as the Cult of the Snake, this thieves guild that's deeply involved with smuggling and murder. You can find those types in Stygian Row, where the poor dwell, where the Minotaur market creates chaos and ruckus. I believe that's where most of those thieves hang out. There's a couple of taverns down there. That would be where I would start if I put my life in danger like you heroes.
Ask you one question. Do you think they would be at the games tomorrow?
Oh, I suppose that the Cult of the Snake would be anywhere where they can pickpocket, create a ruckus, and turn innocent souls to stone, yes.
But you don't think they'd be trying to run some gambling bit in the Coliseum?
Gambling? I don't know that they've created any gambling pools, bookies, if you will, but I wouldn't put it past them. What we know so far is that they target the rich, they target the affluent, those working hard just to create business, create jobs, and they just give it to the weak, the lazy.
Gotta hate those Democrats. Right.
You've done quite well
So
for yourself,
we're looking for
Minotaur.
pickpockets.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Well, he looks.
It comes through hard work,
That
just
is-
like yourself, Mr. Nude-Dragon.
Nerdagon.
Nerdagon.
Dragon. Nude.
You
Nerda.
You are quite the
Nerdagon.
specimen. I have never in my years seen a Minotaur come to such socioeconomic status as you, Zark of the Heroes, you are, and probably will always be, the highest-ranking Minotaur I've ever heard of.
That is not true.
You are the only
There
Minotaur.
are family members that I am a descendant of that brought a lot of fame to my family, and I'm gonna pet my little dragon on my arm.
Well, you should be quite proud of your efforts thus far, for you are the only Minotaur to walk on this property without being in shackles.
Well, I do appreciate that. I will say that.
Well done.
You could have made this a lot harder on me to, engage in a conversation with you. So I do really appreciate that, Mr. Nerdoragon.
You look very terrifying to talk to, considering you have that bubble mask on. Remember that thing? The bubble mask.
It's Nerdagon. I wouldn't expect a Minotaur to be able to pronunciate my name, but that's okay. You are forgiven. Anything else, gentlemen?
Besides the bounty on that, we will be playing the games tomorrow. Is there anything that you can do to help us get an advantage?
Oh, those games are so silly. They're just a bunch of brute sweats. It's all for show. I mean, what do you expect to gain?
Wasn't sure if you had any information that would help us out, that would maybe make some bets on a certain Minotaur that will be playing in the games more lucrative for you.
You want to bet on you?
You've never played in the games before, no?
No, but they do call me Grease Lightning.
Well, just know the Titans.
Yeah, they do.
The Titans watch the games, and unlike the preliminary rounds, the great spectacles often involve magic, debauchery, and teams helping one another, and it can turn into quite fun. It can be quite dangerous at times. I might place a bet on you, Zark. Do you know what you'll be competing in?
What would you like me to compete in?
Well, I assume you'll get through the preliminaries, no problem, and of course it all ends in the relay, which is sort of the culmination, but that's a few days away. I suppose I can put some coin on you in the Battle Royale, your whole team?
I don't think that would necessarily be the worst of mistakes you could do.
It's quite the bracket to get to the end of the Battle
Be you
Royale.
proud.
And how could I trust my coin will double? What would you need from the Nerdagon estate to aid you in your Battle Royale prowess?
Well, I assume that any magic to be done in the games is completely out of the question, correct?
Oh no.
There's no magic.
Yes, I
So
mean,
we can use magic in the game.
sure. Some competitions have some magic bans. For example, burrowing is not allowed in the Battle Royale, if I recall. Flight and levitation not allowed. Killing blows in that particular one is not allowed. But other than that, magic is all in the good fun of the 100 hands competition.
Well, I would just say that if you're in the stands and you see anybody standing up or sitting down that looks like they are going to be causing a little bit more ruckus than they need to be down in the battlefield, maybe have some of your guys give them a nudge or two.
Excellent. And perhaps I may have some of my esteemed colleagues assist you if they see you on the edge, so to speak.
Would be greatly appreciated.
Not all of the city is rooting for the heroes. There are many that would love to see your embarrassment as you fail the games. So, this is not a guarantee.
Just like many of the poor people of the city would like to see the fall of you. I think we have a mutual understanding here.
Yes, my first mutual understanding with a Minotaur. It's fun to have new experiences.
Well, would you like to shake on it?
Our deal is done, and he turns and walks away, and some of his guards sort of step in, indicating that the meeting is over, and they gesture for you to leave the...
In the assumption that he was going to shake on it instead of like spitting on my hand, I take my big tongue and lift my whole hand and stick it out. Just
He's walking away from you.
He's very dry.
yeah, well, I understand that, but I just want you to understand what I was doing in the midst of him walking away.
Yeah, he saw you lick it and he was walking away. You were in the mouth.
If
Okay, so-
possible, you should throw an egg in this house.
Just make sure no one sees you.
So the guards escort you outside of the gate. You find yourselves in the higher end district with the royalty and the nobles.
So we have to go to the lower sections, or the, what do we call it?
Stygian Row?
Like the poorer sections, we call them.
Yes.
Yeah, Stygian Rows were
Stygian is a derogatory term for tieflings, and many tieflings, there's not many tieflings in the city, but if you do find them, they are in Stygian Row, and they are sometimes stereotyped for being aberrations from Lutheria. So Stygian Row is the lower lying section of the city. This whole kind of little part, you've been here before, it's where the Minotaur Market is, as well as several establishments, including
Temple of Pytheria that we completely destroyed and rescued kids from.
Is that, yeah, Temple of Lutheria is down there that you are familiar with. The Minotaur Market is down there, and a couple of competing taverns, including the Siren's Roost and the Satyr's Tail.
Did we throw someone off a bridge or attack someone that was chanting up one of those
Oh, that
bridges?
was all up at like the Heartbeat Bridge or something.
Yeah, that was the other side of town.
It was closer to the farms. We're looking like, I believe, if memory calls, like somewhere down this general rough direction.
Yeah, just some information.
So, I mean,
You have a key, right?
are you going to Sarah and go straight after this lady that is going to turn us to stone? I mean, we do have mirrors. I'm pretty sure I still have a mirror. You probably should still have a mirror. Alistair might be on his own, but you know.
So we can go to the. I guess we can go to the Satyr's Tail or the Siren's Roost or the. Okay, yeah, like 19. Like I'm getting the map 18 or 19 or.
Are you looking for more information?
Yeah, look for information.
Okay.
Let's just try to figure out where we find them all here.
Because what's her face did say that like we can spend a night at her place and be safe, right?
Yes, at the Temple of the Five Gods.
So if you'd like to continue investigating, that is fine. I'm just gonna need my beauty rest. That's all I gotta say. If I'm gonna be competing tomorrow, I can't be getting completely hammered at a tavern all night. You can.
Is there time for like one more stop?
Yeah, it's about
Yeah, like
evening
the time of day are we?
Well, you got in the early afternoon, and from running around and moving through town, I would say it's probably just after supper time. So it's when the night starts to lift up. There's people celebrating. It's the first night of the great game, so there's definitely an energy in the city, and it's plenty of drinking and debauchery, especially in the Stygian Row area.
Okay, so we can just we don't have to we can just get some information, then just go sleep in a nice house or temple. Right?
As long as you don't get into a fight, don't pick on guys that are bigger than me. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Also, don't pick on 3 guys that are the same size as me because that's just not gonna work out either.
You just keep assuming they're fighting you. But you forgot Bulldog's my bodyguard.
Yeah, well, Bulldog also initially ran away when we saved him, so.
Bulldog does not want to go to Stygian Row. He is a little bit worried and traumatized.
Yeah,
So
he
he
does
asks,
not want to go back to where he was captive.
can I go stay at the the gods, the five gods? I want to go there. I'll cheer for you in the games.
Bulldog, you can go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bulldog, you're not just gonna cheer for me in the games. You're gonna walk out there next to me, and then you're gonna go take your seat in the family row of the games.
Yeah, I can do that.
He's just sitting
Because you're
there,
basically
forced
family now, Bulldog.
Oh, thanks, Zark.
He's gonna sit. Why does he sound dumber now?
I don't remember what he sounded like.
Yeah.
He always has sounded dumb.
Yeah.
He does not sound like the Force.
Well, you're also trying to take him back to the place he was captive as a
No.
slaughtered cow. So,
No, that would. It's nearby, but this is where we are. This is where the
same
market is.
place.
That's like all in the same town. So.
No, it's you're right above number 20. Oh, that's the Temple of Lutheria, but 21 is the Minotaur Market, which is, I guess, way back here.
It's all
Yeah,
considered
I think
Detroit.
that's there versus just South Detroit versus West Detroit and East Detroit. It's all Detroit.
Okay, we just let him go. And it's like he's free from Detroit. Detroit can't hold him back now.
So Bulldog heads off. Kira's been fairly quiet, and she is proud of you all for wanting to end the Minotaur Market. She says that she'll join you, and she seems to have recovered a little bit, but you can just tell that there's a spark in her that's been gone ever since she sacrificed herself to Esther.
Later, figure out how to fix it. Maybe like just give her a gold map and let her eat the gold map. Okay, so I guess we go into this Stygian Row bar and get some info if we can.
There are 2 Stygian Row bars. There is the Satyr's Tail and the Siren's Roost, and I believe you've been to the Siren's Roost because it is sort of a brothel, if you will. You're welcome to go
We've
back.
definitely been there.
What'd you guys do there?
Don't worry about that, Alistair. I just remember the sign. We might have passed it once or twice. Don't worry about what's happened over here.
What we may or may have done in that brothel. Okay, so now we just go to the tail, I think.
Satyr's Tail sounds like a great place.
Yeah.
I think Alistair might want to take the lead on this one, because
Yeah, leave us in. Show us among the peoples.
Crap.
So
You offered.
as you navigate through the crowded streets, it gets even more crowded as you approach the Satyr's Tail. You can hear the sound of music and commotion. You go through the wooden door, and the interior is crowded. It's a tavern thick with smoke, lots of unpleasant smells from body odor to food to stale beer. Many of the patrons appear to be half-orcs. Some are looking like sailor types. It's even difficult to walk through the tavern without tripping over its many inebriated patrons. You open the door, you see all this, people stumbling, holding onto each other, tables full, half-orcs and sailors and tieflings and all kinds of such running around. What do you want to do?
I open the door, and I see all this, and I'm like, haha, my kind of bar! And I slam Alistair in the chest, like, possibly hard enough to, like, make him stumble back a little bit, because he wanted us to come in here, and I was really happy about it. So, yeah, that's what I did.
All right. So you give him a chest bump. He looks like the rest of the patrons stumbling around. He bumps into someone who sort of shoves him off without even noticing, that you guys are the heroes, and you're back on your feet.
Barkeep's probably got to be sober in here. Let's go talk to him.
All right. You make your way through the crowd. The bar, it's hard to get to. Every seat is taken, but you see behind the bar, the tap room area is filled with smoke, smells of fish, and you see a older man who looks to have kind of scars and wrinkles and old tattoos all over his body, and he seems to have this sort of permanent scowl on his face as he helps folks. He only has one arm. His left arm is gone, and he's using sort of the stub of his left arm to hold drinks and pour things and move, coin from the table into a little cup that he's got moving around. And he sees you, and he gives you even more of a scowl than he had before. And he sort of nods his head up to you as if he's saying, like, what do you have?
I think we'll have a round of beer for everyone here.
All right.
And
I'm going to assume it's a lot of
why do you call this?
checked out.
Yeah, I was gonna ask like what he's up to, but I was like, you know what? He's just following us around,
Okay.
hanging out.
Sure. I was going to, he's either
He's
with Bulldog
smoking.
or, he's doing his thing. I'm sorry, Alistair, go ahead.
Oh, you know what? Having him go back with Bulldog might make this a little easier.
Yeah.
Great.
Why is this called the Satyr? I don't see many of my kind here.
The satyr's tail, well, and he points, he's like, there's a satyr over there. And he kind of looks around, and he points to a little booth in the corner. There's one over there. What do you mean there's no kind of yours? 3 drinks, it's 3 copper. I don't know how much it is, but we'll call it 3 copper.
Yeah, give him the money. We're investigating the Lady of Coin. Can you tell me what you know?
You're not coming in here to bother my patrons. Take that business elsewhere.
Quick, man, too quick.
How loud are you
I'm gonna
saying
shove
that,
the satyr
Alistair?
aside a little bit.
Like asking about the Lady of the Coin or sighing?
Asking about the lady of the coin.
Yeah, normal volume, so someone across the bar can hear it.
But they don't, because if it's a loud bar and a lot of debauchery, like you'd have to be yelling, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's pretty
So
loud.
I'm
in here.
yelling.
So then yelling.
Okay. So you yell, he gives you that look and says, take your business elsewhere. That kind of investigation is not welcome here.
So I'm gonna kind of push him aside a little bit and be like, you gotta excuse my friend. He doesn't know how to handle his liquor very well. We're just here to have a good time. How about I buy yourself a drink or two? You could cheers us and ignore what he had said initially.
He turns back to Alistair and says, is this your Minotaur?
No. Why would he be my Minotaur?
He looks at Saren.
He's his own man, sorry.
He's his own Minotaur.
He's his own. You're your own bartender.
Sir, we are the heroes. I'm the Minotaur that you've heard of. Because recently,
Heroes, schmeros, I've been hearing rumor about it. This town's always been a shithole. It's always going to be a shithole. What do you want, Minotaur?
on the counter.
I'm sorry to hear you. What?
All of that?
Sorry, my
He
connection's
was trying
running.
to.
Oh no!
He was acting cool for a minute. It's gone now. It's gone. You deleted it.
Is it about
Can
to
you hear me
throw
now,
down?
Jeff?
Yeah.
Alright. So, I look at him, and I say, I'm one of the heroes that has been protecting the city and dealing with the plagues of the city. And we will continue to deal with the plagues of the city. So I'm just here to drink and have a good time. And I'd like to buy you a drink. Are you cool with that? And I slam my lepta down on the countertop, and I remove my hand.
I could use a drink. He takes your coin, pours himself one of the top shelf meads, and pours it right in front of you and drinks it. And himself. Oh,
And I
my
flip him
OBS
another
disconnected.
coin.
I need better internet.
Yeah, man. I flip him another coin and I say, you know what? That one's on me, and there's your tip for it. Can we drink here now?
Just don't bother my patrons.
I'm
Good.
talking about the actual plagues. So, drink up. Here's a couple more left, Ted. Pour yourself another one for a tip. And then can I finally just get my frickin' beer?
And he sort of gruffs to himself and pours you an ale. And you see, actually, roll perception.
Okay, I was taking the left off.
That's fine.
Perception.
Yeah, as you grab your drink, you see he kind of looks off to the side. You don't quite see what he's looking at, but you can tell that he had made eye contact with someone and sort of gave a slight nod of sorts.
Okay. So, I'm gonna look back at my crew. The two of them that are still left standing after a night of debauchery. Um, Say, hey. Kind of quietly turn to him. Maybe not so interrogation and more chill? Like, hang out, guys? Let's have
It's a
some drinks?
question.
You're in a place filled with, and I point to my left and I point to my right and I just kind of like shrug.
Yeah, there are sailors, bandits, thieves, mercenaries, miscreants, from what you can tell. Just all kinds of low of the low.
Let's get
Now,
ourselves a couple rounds.
I'll do
If-
something for the bar room and cast some dancing lights around for everyone to get enjoyment out of.
Okay, so you're just lighting up the place with dancing lights?
Yeah, like moving some little balls of lights for all the inebriated folk.
Okay. You do so, and it sort of lights the place up. It lights up the smoke in the room, and nobody knows it was you since it's so crowded, but you see some folks look up, some of the half-orcs sort of point up to it, and you could tell some people sort of put their hoods up and try to guard their eyes from the lights.
They're dim lights.
Okay,
They're not that bright.
great.
They're just, enough to move around with whatever music is playing and catch people's eye.
Yeah, there's a satyr playing music. Um, he is playing some panpipes, and he's sort of making a table his stage, as the stage is sort of filled with some passed out dwarf and a group of ladies trying to wake him up, and so he's sort of like making his rounds and walking on tables and trying to gingerly step through, cheering pints of ale and half-eaten plates of fish.
Build up his performance, getting the lights moving around him, and
All right. Yeah, you see the crowd kind of getting into it a little bit as he taps his foot, and people are drinking heavily.
perfect. See, everyone's having a good time here.
So I'm going to look at our table. I'm assuming we're sitting at a table, right? At this point in time, got our own little table.
No, the tables were full. You're sort of standing at the bar, but not quite at the bar since it was full. You're standing like one row back from the bar, shoulder to shoulder. The place is packed.
All right. Well, so then in that case, I am not actually going to say a fucking thing.
Do you want to look for a table?
Yeah, you know what? Anything around available?
You look around. I mean, there's full tables almost everywhere. There's a table with only two folks at it, but the empty chairs at that table, there's only two other empty chairs, and you'd have to share the table with them. Other than that, the place is packed, mostly standing room.
Any other tables that have like an extra chair at it?
There is a chair near the bar that is empty.
All right. So I'll grab the chair at the bar, and I'm telling this to you guys. I'll grab the chair at the bar. You guys want to go sit down with them, and we can just hang out for a little bit. If you hear something, you hear something. If not, maybe it's time to move on. Cool.
He's gonna find his. He's gonna find a seat. That's
Yeah.
basically you hear most everyone's conversation. Basically. Like,
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
we can hear everybody's conversation right now.
Yeah.
But-
basically, I just don't want to sit near you guys, considering you stick out like a sore thumb.
All right. Well, you go sit where you want to.
I've
I've got my beer. I'm gonna head back to the temple then. I was just trying to be strategic a little bit, but I've got a big day ahead of me. So
Yeah, you gotta get all that grease. It takes a while to put all that grease on you.
yes, it does. Thanks a lot.
If you put all the grease and you turn a different color.
So you leave Zark?
I mean, yeah, if he doesn't want me sitting at a table with him, there's no reason for me to be there. I'm gonna head back to the Temple of Five.
I'm not trying.
No. If you're trying to be incognito, you don't need me there. So I'm gonna be like, all right, you guys do what you do, and I'm gonna head back to the temple.
Okay.
Alistair, what are you doing?
I'm walking through the crowd of people, mainly just listening.
Roll perception
hear-
with disadvantage.
With disadvantage. I just did it twice.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, it's so loud in there. You're rolling through the crowd, and you're sort of distracted by all the strange beings and interesting tattoos that catch your eye. The music seems to be sort of a good tempo and rhythm that you find yourself sort of, bobbing your head to the beat. Saren, roll perception with disadvantage.
Listening to the lights, listening to the music and playing with the lights instead of actually listening.
Yeah, you're in the zone with the EDM concert.
He's like, he has the glow stick.
He's like, Satyr's tail, Satyr's tail.
Okay, I hit this button twice then, or just put alt, push alt.
Yeah, disadvantage is control.
Okay, push control, and I push this button.
It didn't do disadvantage for some reason, but you can
Push
just,
control.
yeah, I don't know why it didn't work. Just roll
Do it
again.
again.
Yep. Okay. So as the night goes on and Zark leaves, you notice that one of the half orcs seems to follow with his eyes Zark leaving the place. You also notice that one of the individuals, seemingly looking like brothers, that were sitting just the two to the table. As you look over again, there's only one.
Cut out. You say something?
Did I cut out? I said that you noticed one of the half orcs following Zark out with his eyes, and one of the two brothers that were sitting at the table by themselves. There's only one now.
Why was that orc staring at Zark? Hmm. So they were just watching him leave.
Mm-hmm.
Did anything seem suspicious about that? Or nothing at all?
About who?
Hmm. Which one seems the orc or the two others?
The half orcs, it's quite a group of them. About half a dozen of them, one looking a little more sort of as a leader of the bunch whose eyes were following Zark. You hear them talking about sailing on the Gulf and all of their sort of exploits and how they make people fear them and just sort of boasting, but they definitely appear to be sailors.
Be useful to know later in case we need crewmen, because they know how to fight. What about the other group?
The one who was sitting alone, very shortly, he had some folks join him and drinking and sort of chatting and whispering. He does not appear to be drinking anymore.
Does he look strange at all? Or does he just seem like he's talking secretly?
No, he's not really talking to the couple of drunk patrons that sat at the table. He's sort of sitting quietly by himself, no longer drinking. Within a few moments, you see him get up to leave.
Does he look suspicious at all? Or does he look like he doesn't care about what's going on?
Suspicious in that he didn't finish his drink and that he's not having fun like the rest of the patrons at the bar. Suspicious in that his tone appeared to have changed.
What, when he saw Sark or something?
You don't know.
Okay. Hmm. It doesn't seem like very much to follow him, you know?
Hmm?
Doesn't seem like much, so doesn't like seem like anything to follow him on, considering he just watch him leave, I guess.
Okay. Zark, are you still with us?
I am, but I figured I left the tavern, so.
Sure. You're walking the streets. It's quite a crowded area. Folks running up to you, wanting autographs, asking about whether you're participating in the games and which ones, and they're sort of telling you that you're going to be great and all that. Roll perception with disadvantage.
But also, while I'm doing this, I am definitely signing quick autographs as best as I possibly can with hooves, essentially. Um, Also, just saying, like, to the questions about whether I'm playing in the games, I'm like, heck yeah, I am. You know I'll be there. And which games, I'm like, you're just gonna have to be there to see. You gotta be there to see me.
Okay.
Perception disadvantage?
Yes.
Yep. Push Alt.
Is it alt? I thought
Control.
control. Yeah. So you're feeling good. You feel like at least the crowd that you have interacted with all seem to be rooting for you. And yeah, as you make your way through the city, it becomes less crowded as you get closer and closer to. I'd have to check that map, but the
I think it's
let's see.
like
Yeah, let me
here-ish.
the temple.
Yep.
Yeah, the Temple of the Five. Yep, so it gets a little bit thinned out as you make your way out of Stygian Row and towards the temple. Go ahead and do a regular perception check. Yeah, you walk to Stygian Row, and it sort of gets quiet as you get into the temple, where you find that Solano Deo and Bullbug are already cozied up in their own beds, and Valis greets you and asks if you need anything.
A nice bed and maybe some nourishment. Got a long day ahead of me tomorrow.
Of course, of course. She brings you refreshing seltzer water with lemon. She tells you a little bit about what to expect, but she doesn't seem to be worried about the preliminary events. She tells you that she doesn't think it'll be any problem.
I agree.
She asks,
Got any bread to go with the water, though? I mean,
Oh,
like,
yes.
just something that I can, like, I'm kind of a big guy. Like, I
Yeah.
need something to eat.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you got meat, that'd be even better, but I know
She
meat's
brings
been
you,
scarce in certain areas, so...
She brings you a charcuterie board. She says, I am the queen after all. And it is a nice slab of roast beef on there with different cheeses and grapes. And yeah, you eat and sit with comfort.
I take the board and I just, like, tilt it up, open my mouth.
Quite the
Yeah, yeah.
appetite
Yeah.
there, Zark. Now, she tells you that the games are organized by day. There will be events, and then the wine festival is pairing with the great games this week. So in the evening, there will be a play in the theater district, followed by open night to drink and explore. She encourages you not to drink before the main event games, for you need to be on your toes.
That's no fun.
I am almost always on my toes.
It's good.
But also, if you're saying there's a play, I know of a couple friends that are very good being playful actors. One's name is Saren. I don't know if they're looking for help.
Well, you know, if you...
The other's one is Solano Deo. He can be disguised as many things, in my opinion.
Well, you're in luck, because the crowd would love it if the heroes of the Heartlands actually got up on the stage to play different roles. That would be amazing.
Well, I'm gonna have to conserve my energy, so I don't know that I could actually participate in this.
Oh, Zark, you think so little of yourself.
Yes, I do. Especially in a town like this, where you're taking my kin and slaughtering them. So, yes.
It's a tragedy, isn't it?
It is? It so is.
Indeed.
So we'll pass that hurdle when it comes.
Before you retire for the evening, would you like to see the chariot that could use some improvements?
Hells yeah!
What about the two of you at the Satyr's Tail? Anything else going on there?
Am I jamming out full time with the Bard Satyr?
Yeah, yeah. You're enjoying him. He's got the pan flutes. People are enjoying his music.
Twing
Yeah.
twangy.
You
Add
see.
some
Go ahead.
add some magic hand, get some shit moving.
Nice. You see some of the patrons get so rowdy that two very large orcs come out of the shadows to escort this sort of aggressive patron out of the bar. And very quickly, this satyr playing music, he switches his tune, and you feel that musical energy coming from his panpipes, and this very aggressive patron soon becomes fatigued and sort of slumps in the arms of the bouncers as they bring him out into the street.
Nice. And I'm having fun with the music. I plan on buying this guy a beer when he makes it to a break time.
Do you tell him such?
Yeah, when he gets off stage for break, I hand him a beer and say it's been a pleasure listening to you.
Ah, thank you there. Another satyr. It's good to see you. I'm Frixen.
Hey, Frickson.
It's a pleasure to see you. Welcome to Mytros. Are you here for the great games?
We are. Might compete, might not compete, but I know a guy that's gonna go far in the games.
Ah, excellent. You know, I like to be somewhat of a trickster sometimes. I'll sit in the crowd and just cast little musical spells and create chaos. You can help someone if you got to bet on them, or hurt someone if they're getting ahead and it's just not that interesting. It can be quite fun to be a spectator, you know.
Nice. I might take you up on that. That sounds fun.
Ah, it is. The great games are the best. And, you know, the plays, they can sort of be cheeky, but they could be fun too.
Yeah. How long have you been in town?
Ah, all my life.
Yeah. Are you are you worried of that talk of the that lady bard that was turned to stone?
Oh, another one, huh?
Yeah. How many does it make?
I best you not be talking about that stuff in this bar, friend.
Mm.
You see
I'm
him
just
look around nervously.
I'm just
It's like,
worried for your safety, my friend. This bar would be a lot less without you.
Well, let's just say I'm not going to be a target anytime soon.
Oh. I don't suppose you can elaborate on that,
Don't
Yeah.
suppose I can.
you have a spell.
Well, who who are you betting on in the games?
Oh, let's see. There's the Arisians. They can be quite good at archery, and, um, you know, a lot of the folks who signed up under the Order of Sidon. Sidon tends to favor them, and they have the most sacrifices. So they tend to be a crowd favorite in a lot of ways, especially the way that the factions have been shifting in the last year or so.
Are you gonna bet on any of the heroes?
I suppose I might. Best hedge my
There's
bets.
I'll tell you there's the Minotaur Zark. He's favored to win a lot of events.
Ah, I see. Hmm. Well, I suppose I could think about it. You know, I'm a bit of a fan of underdogs. There's a soldier named Spira. He had an injury 5 years ago or so. He's recovered now, but or she, Spira, uh, she's fantastic. I think that she's recovered enough to really give a run to anyone who tries.
It sounds like quite a competition this year.
Yes, the young folks, you know. If you've heard of Falana, a bard from Astoria, there's a huge following of the young teenage fans. They just come out and cheer, and they drive themselves hoarse, lose their voice cheering for her, and, you know, a positive crowd can really sway things.
That's true. Although a bard's gotta be worried in this town.
Ah, yes. Not this bard.
If you're not worried, why aren't you competing in the games?
Ah, those games are for brute strength and those who like the thrill of adrenaline. I'm just a bard in a bar.
Uh, Well, I don't suppose you could give me any tips of how to cause some mischief for some competition, could you?
Ah, well, it depends on the kind of skills you know. I would tell you to be careful, though. Although magic's allowed in the game, some magic is not allowed for certain competitions. But they announce it at the beginning every time, and as long as you don't break the rules, you should be fine. You see, there's a high mage from the academy who has these special goggles. He looks out, he can see anything 400 meters out, and he'll catch you if you're breaking any rules. So, not even careful mischief is allowed. But they like a certain amount of mischief, so just don't. Usually, it's teleportation and flight and some of those types of things, but it doesn't hurt to cast a little confusion here and there, a little wind gust to toss some dust into opponents' eyes.
Oh. Yeah, one guy can't see everything. It's a big town.
Ah, they give him a special seat at the top with those special magical goggles. I don't know of anyone who's gotten past that. And I'll tell you, if you're caught cheating, not only are you kicked from the games, but you're shamed for a lifetime.
Uh,
Yeah,
can you
someone tambourine to follow you around with that.
can you tell me if any of the competitors are something to worry about?
Ah, I suppose if you haven't heard about them, let's see. There's lots of competitors. Do, do, do. Who should you worry about? I suppose the first Amazon ever to compete is Hatria, a warrior from the Amazons. Don't know much about them, so she's kind of a wild card. There's Egon from Astoria, an older competitor. Many times that he's played the games, he's probably got the most experience, but I think the crowd favorite is Georges, the captain from the Order of Sidon. He's arrogant. He, he's a favored winner for sure.
Yeah, I think Alistair would keep talking with him and buying him drinks till he plays again, and talk with him throughout the night, and try and see if he'd tell any more about why he's not worried why he's not worried about turning to stone.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
I just did it twice because I don't know how to do it.
Everyone forgets how to play this game.
Well,
No,
I
you
roll it out of the character sheet, so I don't know how that works.
still could hit Alt.
Really?
You just hold Alt,
You just hold Alt.
Advantage, A,
This
Alt, A.
this program is so amazing.
So yeah, after a few more songs, a few more drinks, he starts to buddy up with you, and he seems a little cautious, but eventually he tells you that he's not worried because he is the entertainer at this bar, and this bar serves mostly the Cult of the Snake.
And with no real plan, I probably drink all night at this bar and relay all this information in the morning to our sleeping champion. Then
Before you
compete.
leave, he says, come back tomorrow night and I'll introduce you to some more friends of mine. They got more tips for you for the games.
Aye.
Okay, I guess I see you leave and I'll follow.
Okay.
I want to be left.
You guys make your way back to the temple where you see Valis and Zark in this sort of courtyard area, and she shows you a simple chariot. Let's see here. I gotta find the rules around this chariot thing.
Yeah, Saren, could you hear all that our new friend was telling?
It seems to be hiding a few facts. He seems to be knowing more than let on. Wonder why he's not getting targeted.
Yeah.
He seems to be very certain about that for some reason. Well, I guess you'll have to talk to him tomorrow. See if we can get more information tomorrow. But now we just have to focus on the games in the morning, I guess. Yeah, we'll just find him later. Okay. That's all I got.
Yeah.
And I got some breeze from Shark.
So, Valis brings you into her little garage, for lack of a better term, where there is a chariot. She tells you that the chariot race for the preliminary games is simply a chariot race, but during the actual great games, there is a battle chariot race. She shows you the chariot. It seems to be a pretty plain chariot. She tells you that they are driven, although the MC of the games will say that it's driven by Vulcan and Kira and their magic. It's actually driven by some, I think, invisible horses of some sort. And she says that each of you can try to improve the chariot as you see fit. She tells you that the races are filled with obstacles. It's quite intense in terms of safety. That's very dangerous. Imagine, what was that movie with all those dangerous chariot things and spikes and such? You get the idea.
Oh, another movie. I haven't played.
Gladiator.
Is it Gladiator?
Gladiator.
That's kind of what's in my mind.
Ben-Hur.
Yeah, there you go.
Futurama.
I also played these. I also played
Futurama also did a whole Gladiator thing, by the way,
Yeah.
just so you know.
Yeah, I played the Origin things. It gave me a better idea of chariot races. Pretty dangerous. It's like the primitive version of race cars. Just smashing into each other.
What was that? There was a movie with a bunch of cars and they were in prison. Death something. Death Race?
Right?
Death Race.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so that's what we're expecting. Death Race, right?
Something
Yeah.
like that. So it says each player character can make one modification to the wagon using any skills that you have. Um, so it's kind
So
of
we can
like,
all.
let's see, I'll tell you sort of the skills that we'll be using for the wagon. Obviously, the wagon has HP. It's got dexterity, strength, speed, armor class, and like a attack buff, which will help with like attacks. Let me see. It's already got immune to poison and psychic. It's damage resistant to piercing. It's a large object. It's going to hold 2 of you. Um, it's let's see. The wagon uses a variation on attack modifiers. So for every plus or minus an attack buff, 1 point is added or subtracted to all crew members' spell save DCs, attack accuracy, and damage. Something like that. I think they might be using a different system, but we'll figure it out. Speed is a little bit different than it's just sort of a speed bonus or and yeah, it does not count as an object that's being worn or carried. So that's the stats, and you can sort of describe to me and then roll to see how well you do to improving the wagon.
I, for one, am
Skills that we have, huh?
Right.
I
So
am
they
happy
have.
the
Go ahead.
I'm happy the inanimate object cannot be poisoned or psychically controlled.
Yeah.
So
God
we.
damn it! My cart was poisoned.
So. Okay. So, so. Are we all trying to do it, or is this one of us trying to do the race?
Each of you gets to make 1 modification to the wagon using any skills that you have.
Well, I'm going to. What would I try to add? Okay. I'm going to add a little blade that if you push a button, it will pop out of the wheel and stab other wheels. Like inside the middle of the wheel, what do you call that?
Yeah,
The
like the hub.
axle?
The
You're
hub.
Yeah, like a secret
trying
blade.
to add attack to it.
Sure. Trying
Basically,
to add attack. What
I'm using
skill
my
are you using to do that?
stealth. Put a secret blade into the wheels, so when they get closer, they'll just pop out in like a trap and just attack. Just pop out, just go back in, pop out like a little spring.
Okay. As you try to do that, let me see. Let me just. So you did not do so well, and the way that this is set up, it says if you fail, you basically get a subtraction to that buff. So you have a -1 to attacks.
I tried. Well, I'm not racing. Oh, I was just gonna do the archery.
Well, and you can
So,
participate in multiple things. This is just one specific thing. So, and yeah, I know I'm kind of like, I'm hoping so. Let's see. Increase, decrease success, failure range based on party's current levels. Okay. So yes, you tried to do it, and for whatever reason, it didn't work so well. It's sort of like this latch that kind of puts this um, this weapon out, but it causes the wagon to be less effective.
so this is a little bit of a stretch, but I'd like to try and use my aura of protection to like help me beef up the defenses of the chariot.
Sure, sure. It's actually not a stretch. They even say adding crystals that amplify magic or stabilizers that make it easier to aim. So they've already got stuff like that. So which skill are you using to try to? You
Aura
wanna...
of protection.
Okay. Um, roll just like a. I don't know. I need you to roll like a skill check of some sort. What, you want to do
Okay.
like Arcana or something, or?
Persuasion, obviously. Yeah, I mean, Arcana would probably be the best, right?
Sure, I'll give you advantage since you have a spell.
All right.
All right. That did not work out so well for you. So
Yep.
you were trying to do what again?
Defense.
Okay. So it's a -1 to your AC, bringing.
Yep. Perfect. This thing isn't even gonna get off the starting line.
Yeah, you guys aren't doing so well with.
We're gonna be like, oh, and the horse is gonna go, and the chariot's just gonna drop down to the ground.
I'm imagining like the scene in Little Rascals where they're sort of working on their wagon and it's like this piece together thing. We need something from Alistair. You're looking at this thing. Your friends aren't so good at construction and such. You can try to improve its armor class, its speed, its attack.
Well, I don't think I can decrease its speed.
You want to increase it.
Oh yeah, but based on how we're going, I'd like to add a magical attack to it.
Okay.
Like I'm thinking of trying to imbue a fireball into it to release, like,
So
whenever
remember,
needed.
you can. Let me see if I could see this right. So, increasing attack. So whoever's in there, the pilot and the co-pilot. I believe the co-pilot can cast like fireball and things like that. So keep that in mind.
Oh,
This is just about
yikes.
changing the wagon to modify those base statistics that I discussed, which is HP, Dex, Strength, Speed, AC, or attack buff.
Well, would trying to imbue the cart to see invisibility increase its armor class?
For it to see invisibility?
Yeah, so if you're in the cart, you can see invisible things.
I don't know how that would increase its armor class. That would make
I
you.
don't know either.
I would say maybe its attack buff.
Oh,
Oh
sure.
yeah, I'd go with like Dex on that maybe, because you can see stuff coming at you.
See invisible stuff coming at you?
Well, I'm just saying you can see stuff coming at you, so Dex more so than attack. Just my thoughts on that. Like
Yeah.
this is obviously a hard thing to
Yeah, I'll let you choose, Mike, if you want to improve Dex or, what did I say? Attack buff.
attack.
Dex.
Okay, roll your skill check.
Do I get to pick my skill?
Sure, with advantage. It has to make sense.
Probably Arcana.
Oh, I didn't get advantage for mine.
You didn't.
Did I? Oh. Yep.
Yeah, you guys are. Oh, that was.
Doing good.
Hey,
No?
we got a
Hey!
16. So, let's see here. You are gonna get a.
So we don't get a negative.
You don't get a negative. You're gonna get a +1 to Dex.
I like that.
Now,
I like it.
Invasion.
I'm
It does
gonna-
make sense that you would go faster if you can see things better.
Well,
Sure.
dexterity more so about evading, quicker
Yeah.
turns, quicker to get around stuff. Also, I would like to implore the GM to roll for Solano Deo.
Sure.
Oh,
What do you think
good
Solano Day would
idea.
wanna? He looks at this cart. He's thinking about its speed and perhaps trying to increase its armor or its strength. What do you think?
I mean, he's the one that's envisioning it coming to truth. So
Well,
I would say right now that he would probably crack some incense,
Mm-hmm. Give
start
it some
sniffing the
protection
smoke,
vibe.
and
Sounds-
giving himself 2d20s that he can use for any time in the next minute.
all right, all
That's
right.
kind of creepy, wasn't it?
No, we're gonna do it.
What did we get?
Oh gosh, oops! I had Alistair or Saren chosen, but he got a 20 and a 19. Holy crap!
Ah, yes! um, so obviously he would use the 20 to help imbue the cart. At this point in time, I'm gonna step back because I really feel like you as the DM should probably choose what you think he would do.
Really? I don't want
Yeah,
to do
because
that.
it's on you. You were technically controlling him, so you should really have an understanding of what Solana would do. You've known us characters for a good,
Well, he is a
what was it, 7
healer.
months now?
He's a
Yeah.
healer, and let's see. Strength is not too bad. -1 to attacks, -1 to AC. I think he would probably increase your strength, and especially if let's put Solano Deo on the map here. What we're gonna do is give him an option to roll with a skill check, not just his divine sense here, but we're gonna see if he can increase the hit points more than a point by doing a. What's he doing to the cart to make it stronger? He is adding, better rivets onto the wheels and increasing the strength of the wood by oiling it, something like that.
He's
He's
blessing
got
it
like
with
heroism
incense.
or blessed or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
he could use that in the race too. So I will say.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying like that. That's something that he could do to the wood versus like us as characters.
Oh, right. So yeah, bless. That's religion. Is that? Are you like able to open a sheet? All right, we'll see.
Doesn't matter. He rolled a 20.
It doesn't matter. He rolled a 20. Oh yeah. Well, he rolled a 20 again because he gave him advantage for having bless. So I will say that he can increase the HP by for some.
720 points.
Well, the thing is, it's a buff of 1, so I'll give him just 2 for the sake of doubling it for his 20. All right, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah, we'll see how that race kind of goes. But anyway, let's move on. So the cart is done for now.
Seems a lot like dino races.
Right. And you guys go to sleep with excitement and rest on the mind. The next day approaches, and you hear a horn blasting throughout the city as people start to gather into the arena for the great games. This is going to be mostly. We're not going to jump to any maps or anything. We don't need those. So let me get back up to the top of the great games.
Do we get to do Saren's edition with advantage to see if it works?
Well, he didn't have advantage because he didn't tell me
Oh.
something that you guys had spells, which is what gave you advantage. Yeah.
Hey,
don't
Jeff,
get-
you want to take like 5
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
if we're transitioning into the race?
Yeah.
Take
Well-
5 real quick.
We're not transitioning to the race. We're going to do some preliminary games, which are sort of simple rolls, and
Oh, well,
then we'll probably call it. But yeah, let's take 5 minutes, come back at 25 after.
cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Is this a long rest?
No. Oh, yeah. I mean, you shouldn't have.
Dude,
didn't
have
lose
you
any
done
hit points.
anything? Well,
I've-
technically, we have cast spells, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess you could take a rest for spells. New day. All right, see you in 5.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Mike.
I like the beard.
Thanks. Usually I have patches from anxiously picking at my beard.
You don't have to do that anymore. You're out of that bad place.
Yeah. Yeah. Starting a full-time job on Monday. I don't know how that'll go, but I think it'll be nice for a bit until I'm annoyed with it. We'll see.
Not that bad. I had a KBS with cinnamon, vanilla, and cocoa.
Did you hear that Bell's got bought out by New Belgium?
How?
Whoa, really?
Yeah, New Belgium's huge. It's like the third biggest microbrewery in the nation, and Bell's, what, might have been 7th, 8th, 10th?
Yeah, Bell's was one of my favorites.
Well, there's
That's
still,
just
they'll still be Bell's. They'll just be owned by New Belgium.
You have video.
I mean, I can.
Is it? Can you though?
I mean, I'm not gonna do a test on my. We're gonna find out. I don't know. Is everyone back?
B.
Yeah?
Do you guys like this style of play of me mostly just like role playing?
It's
It's like
harder.
It's harder.
yeah, but it's like we're just getting to it.
Yeah.
It's like
I-
we're just in the town, so it's like it's a lot more interacting with people.
Sure, and I definitely think I need to improve my internet package if we're gonna do the fancy visuals and such.
If you recall our last game, I loved the role-playing part.
Yeah.
Making a call, creating a fucking virus.
Oh, that game. No, I think about how you would like, you know, the more that I learn about this game, because I've only started D&D for just a year or so.
About
But
2 years, man. Actually, it's
Yeah.
probably almost exactly 2 years.
that's right, you're right. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that after this campaign, I'm probably just gonna do a sort of collaborative homebrew thing where I don't really have a overall arching story or plot plan, just sort of creating it together as a crew.
Yeah, but you definitely have to have that where it's going.
It'll be a ghost plan.
Trust me, it gets hard if it's just kind of like, we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But
I want to do less work.
that's more work, dude.
As a DM, to
Yeah.
let the people decide what's happening.
Yeah, because then you have to create things every time that they decide to do something off the wall.
I guess.
Instead of like, yeah, you guys are moving towards this game thing.
I
that
know, this is
we've
just so
already got planned
railroady.
out.
Like, everyone, I don't know. Maybe it's just in my head. As long as you guys are having fun.
Yeah.
I am, and also a lot of people actually, they want to be railroaded because they don't know where to go, especially if they're newer.
Sure.
It's like interesting to take it in events that you see in town because you never actually do them very much.
Do what events in town?
Anything.
Like, yeah, like any event, you just walk past it usually most of the time. Or just like you're not there when it happens. You should have been there when this happened. I wasn't there.
All right. Well, we're back. Let me check my recording here. Okay, audio's on this time. So you wake up in town. The horns are blasting. And people are gathering. You did anyone sign up? Is everyone wanting to sign up for the preliminary events? Yes.
Yep.
I think I may have
Yup.
I signed up.
may have
Signed up for this. The, I don't know. What do we keep calling it? I forget what it's called. The horse-drawn carriage thing. Not like
The
Well-
preliminary events is just like an overarching thing, right? Like it.
Sure.
There's
sure.
no
You do-
specific
you do
event you have to sign
everything.
up for.
Right, right. But
Well,
let's
I
just go
control-
through them and see kind of what happens. And yeah, this is based on another DM's sort of fan-based add-on type of thing.
So you created this yourself?
No, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
All right, the preliminary challenges include. Let's start with boxing. So you either need to be trained in athletics, or you can do sort of a strength melee attack, where you have to have a strength of 15 or more.
I am trained in athletics, and I'm pretty sure I've got strength of 15 or more.
Okay. I mean, I could verify that for you. Your strength is 18. Oh, yeah.
18.
Do you,
And I'm also trained in athletics.
anybody else that wants to do boxing, or just Zark? Oh, and I meant to say, so the preliminary, there's no magic at all involved. No magic. And exceptional storytelling can earn Olympic gold, which is going to act like DM inspiration, except it can only be used during the Great Games. And unlike DM inspiration, you can have more than one Olympic gold at a time. So this is going to be sort of storytelling time. First of all, for boxing, if you're boxing there, Zark, I need you to roll, let's see, a skill check. Probably strength. So why don't you roll?
Skills would be athletics or arcana, stuff like
I mean,
that.
it's boxing. You could do athletics.
Yeah, it's
Right.
athletics. I mean, it's boxing.
It's boxing. It's athletics. Nice. So you got first place. Feel free to tell us what that boxing match looked like in the preliminary rounds.
Yeah, I assume that they probably put me up against a lower weight class person. Whether it be a satyr or whatever was involved with that. And it was probably a couple, like, they hit me in the chest a couple times, and I just, like, slammed them with one fist, and down they go, TKO.
Wow. No challenge, huh?
No challenge.
All right. So yeah, take a note that you have one Olympic gold that you could use as a reroll anytime during the Great Games.
You just gotta put that down in case you forget.
Why has it got to be a satyr?
Because they don't got the best legs.
They're tiny.
They're tiny.
Anybody
It's
else
not-
want to do boxing?
No, I do not. I am not built for boxing, and I will die.
All right, the next one is wrestling. You need to be have training in athletics or acrobatics, a strength or dex of 15 or more, any feat or ability related to grappling, or you can do an athletics or acrobatics skill check to participate. Obviously, Zark is going to participate.
Yeah, my drinking disqualified me.
Okay. Grease lightning, you hear some of the crowd
I'm
say from Astoria.
Gonna make sure that my body is all greased up, too. Ready to go.
Before you join in, a beautiful young woman comes to you. She's got some bodyguards, and it takes a second for you to recognize her, but this noble woman is Princess Honora.
She's from the north, and
Yeah, she no longer looks like that party girl that you partied with. She is well put together this time, and she wishes you luck, gives you a kiss on the cheek, and tells you that she'll be in the crowd throughout the Great Games and is cheering for you.
I'm just imagining all.
And I tell her I am very sorry that you just got grease on your lips for kissing me on the cheek, but it is what it is.
Good luck out there, Zark.
It is for good luck.
As you enter the arena, you see a bunch of overweight human males shirtless, and they are in two rows, and their painted bodies spell out greased lightning in ochre paint.
All right. We heard most of that, but you are breaking up. And I did hear that they
They have
We're
your
covered in greased lightning paint.
Yeah, they
You
have,
might want to turn your video off though,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you're
have
probably
the names
right.
of
because
you.
you did break up.
All right, I'm gonna turn off. Okay. So, you need to give
But that
me.
was awesome.
You need to give me another skill check, either strength or dex for wrestling or acrobatics if you want to do that again.
You mean athletics?
Athletics or acrobatics?
Yep, athletics or acrobatics.
Oh no!
All
why is it
right.
disadvantage?
Wait, what? Oh, I hit the wrong one.
Oh, it's
That's
11.
okay. Hold on,
It's
I could click
11.
on it. Yeah, so it looks like you got 11.
So that'd be an 18.
11 plus your 7? Yeah, 18. Way to go. So 18, you get second place in wrestling. Do you want to share how that happened?
You know, what is this, like one match?
It doesn't have to be. It could be a few different
Okay.
ones.
So the first two matches went off without a hitch, pinned them real quick. The third match, obviously the grease started wearing off of me, and the guy got a hold of me right at the end and pinned me right to the ground. Still fought, ready to go, but you know, sometimes you just can't do it all.
You
Can I also
go ahead.
can I also participate in this thing?
Sure. Do you have a strength or dex of 15 or higher?
I have dexterity higher.
What's your dex total score? Oh yeah, you're good. Yeah, so go ahead and roll athletics or acrobatics.
Might not have taken second.
I will steal it.
Ah.
Your grease is
So
no match for my quick feet. You like
you
slit
don't
my leg.
realize that Saren had joined in the ranks, and as you move up into the finals, it is Zark versus Saren. Saren, tell us how that goes.
Theron just dodges out of the way, but for some reason Zark's all covered in grease, and he just slides off the ring for some reason. It's like he just
A
slides
win
down.
by disqualification.
He just slides like a slide down. Like he slams into the wall.
Saren, go
was
ahead
just-
and take Olympic gold for DM inspiration on that one.
Yeah, I stole it, but it was funny. I still. Okay.
Next up, King Acostus sort of hollering to the crowd. Javelin or discus throwing. Need to be proficient in martial weapons, have a strength of 15 or higher, or if you're untrained, strength ranged attack roll. If you're untrained, you could do a strength ranged attack roll versus AC 12 to qualify.
So you said simple weapons? Okay.
Martial
I don't have any
weapons.
trained- I don't have any trained martial weapons, so I might have to sit this one out.
Zark is not feeling quite defeated yet.
You don't have to set it out if you want to do a strength ranged attack, which would be d20 plus your strength modifier. If you get over 12, you could play.
Yeah.
I don't have above a 12, so I can't get in there.
No, if you roll above a 12.
Right.
Everybody can participate in the qualifiers.
Right.
Okay, so I have to roll athletics plus my strength.
No, just a ranged attack, so a d20 plus your dexterity, or I guess plus your strength modifier.
Okay, D20.
So your strength modifier.
Alistair, do you
minus
not
1.
want to try?
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll just do discus.
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, he's muted.
I guess I can try. Probably won't do much.
So starting with
Stabs himself in the foot.
He just hits someone. He hits someone in the audience.
you're not proficient in martial weapons, Alistair,
Um,
and your strength's not high enough.
proficiencies.
my strength is only 8, so I did a Yeah, I think
Okay,
I have
yep.
simple weapons.
Yep, you don't qualify. And then what about Saren? Do you want to do D20 minus 1?
I'll try it. So I just roll it. I just
Just a
roll it, see what
D20.
happens.
Yeah, just roll a D20.
Nah, I did worse than them.
You do not qualify. So,
Stabs the same person with the javelin.
Good job, one than them.
What would you like me to roll, Jeffrey?
so for throwing disc, it could be yeah, athletics or strength. If you want to do a straight strength, whatever.
Oh, no.
Nice. Describe your first place placement.
Man. I wound up and I twisted around like 6 times and I let it go. And it hit the back wall of the Coliseum. It honestly, if I had a better trajectory, that thing was going, but it hit that back wall and it just shattered into pieces.
Very nice. I forgot to mention that you get preliminary medals, and we'll just do this in the form of drachma, because the medals aren't really worth anything except prized by the people of Mytros and easily sold to merchants in Stygian Row. So far, Zark, you've got 2 first place. They're 100 drachma each.
One second place.
And 1 second place is 50 drachma. And then Zark, you got a first place medal for 100 drachma.
So do I get?
So just
Yeah,
add the drachma. Yeah, don't worry about putting a medal and trying to trade it or whatever.
Okay, I'll just add 100. I got gold on one. I know.
Next up is archery.
Oh, finally, something I can do. I'm good. I know what I'm skilled at. the
But
most.
Zark, did you take the inspiration for that last one, or Olympic gold inspiration?
Yeah, I've got them wrote down here.
Okay. Archery, you must be proficient in martial weapons or in the longbow. Dex of 15 or higher, or if you want to do a dex ranged attack versus a DC 12.
I think I'm proficient in the longbow.
Well, your
Pretty
dex
sure
is
I am.
your dex is 20, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm proficient in martial weapons.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll just sit down.
You're not good at any of these.
Hey, I mean, you could still go for it.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
still do a ranged attack roll.
You might end up
Yeah. You
being
are.
in, you
Yeah.
know, a qualifier.
Your dex is plus
Yeah.
You
1,
say-
so D20 plus 1 for Alistair.
+1.
Not bad.
Yeah, 13. That means you are
I get
able
a participation.
you are able to participate in archery if you want to.
You can get in the primaries now, so that's good.
Yeah, if you want to do a straight dex or athletics.
Okay, let's roll this.
Athletics. Dang.
Oh,
Yeah, he's good.
I'm good.
What were you rolling for, Saren?
Archery.
Okay, and what about you, Alistair? Did you do? Let's see, your athletics is -1, so you probably want to do straight dex.
Yeah, I just did straight decks with mine. You shot the sick guy.
Who
this
let?
poor guy in the stands. Can we name him?
Yes, you can.
He keeps his name Greg. He keeps getting hit by things.
You know,
He's
it's
like,
actually that small halfling that you had kidnapped back in Astoria.
It's like,
Do not remember his name.
He was that naked midget that we stuffed in the trunk.
Yeah, well, yeah, I remember that. I just don't remember his name.
I forgot.
We
his
stuffed
name.
him in a trunk.
Okay.
Wait. What, Jeff, the guy that was holding the bars from the last session, the last game.
The guy that was holding.
Do you remember him?
The what?
The little dude that we saved in the last game.
Turkey?
Erky! There we go. Erky, up in the stands.
Oh, okay. Erky Timbers.
Erky Timbers, there it is.
I'm forgetting who. All right, the fan. All right. You keep shooting the fan.
Fucking sorry, Erky.
I thought you were talking about Meepo, the kobold.
Beaver.
That would have been great.
We
That's
just,
some old school.
we just keep hitting people we know. Like, get out of the stands.
Zark, are
I
you
don't
throwing
know.
discus?
Hells yeah. Why not?
All right.
This was archery.
I'm sorry, archery. Thank you.
Yeah.
Straight deck
Yes.
or athletics. Let's see if you can beat a
No.
22.
Always gonna be an athletics. Ooh.
Oh,
Not
13.
so well on this one.
All right, so first place is Saren, and a 13 lands you in third place. So first place is 100 drachma, third place 25. Saren, tell us how you did in archery.
I aimed and shot like 5 targets in the middle. Then I shot the same target and hit and split the arrow in 2.
Robin Hood style.
Yep. And I tried again one more time, but just to make sure. Split the arrow again. 3 times.
Okay. Is anyone proficient in land vehicles?
I know I guess I'm proficient at sea vehicles now.
Or you need a wisdom of 15 or higher, or you could do a wisdom check versus a DC of 12.
Hells yeah. What are we doing?
Chariot racing. This is the preliminary
Shit.
chariot racing, not the main event.
So you said wisdom 13?
If you want to do a wisdom check, it's a DC of 12.
12.
I do
Hey!
Hey, you qualify for chariot racing. Anybody else want to do chariot racing?
I'll do it.
Let's see. Yeah.
Is
So I do it.
unless
I add wisdom.
unless your wisdom is 15 or higher, you need to do a wisdom check versus DC 12.
Okay. I'll try it. Oh, come on.
Yep, I'm out.
No,
Why?
Alistair.
Why do Alistair, you keep hitting that one guy.
Well, he gets
Oh,
in the chariot and he just like doesn't know how to make it go.
Okay.
He jumps on the chariot and just like slaps the horse's ass and just starts
Yeah.
running as he falls off.
Yeah.
Saren doesn't do so well either. Zark, you are a hulking minotaur in this little chariot, and I guess we're gonna call this.
Fourth place.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say straight wisdom roll.
Alright. I mean, saves, checks, right?
Yeah, you don't even place in first, second, or third. Tell me how that goes.
Well, you know, started off good, going, yeah, yeah! Hippity hop. And they start going around the corners, and I see Princess Laura up in the stands.
Honora.
And I'm like, that's what I said.
I thought you said Alora.
And I'm like, yeah, it might have been. And so I'm, listen to the story, not what I say. So I look up at her, and as I look up at her, I just like kind of run the chariot into the side wall and like scrape the chariot as we're coming around, and everybody just kind of passes me, and I was a little starstruck, and yeah, didn't really go my way.
So do I do wisdom save now? See if I don't crash it.
No, you didn't qualify. You got a 10. You
Ah.
needed a 12.
Okay.
All right. DM inspiration, Olympic gold inspiration for that story. Thank you. The next one is a triathlete, running, climbing, and swimming. If you have running, climbing, and swimming, you qualify. If you are trained in athletics, have a constitution of 15 or higher, a natural land speed above 30 feet per round, or you could do a strength check, DC 12. So, who wants to participate in the triathlon?
Oh, so it's,
I can move 30 feet.
Yeah. So what,
Is it
I
above
can,
30 feet?
Yeah.
Also-
Above.
Equal to.
No, it needs to be above 30 feet. So
Yeah. Yeah. Above it, man.
Constitution is 15 or higher, maybe. No,
No.
you're close, Alistair. So yeah, if you want to participate, do a strength check, straight strength.
Give it a shot. Yeah, not actually too bad that time.
Yeah, Alistair, you qualify. Anybody else want to do a triathlon?
Yeah. I was just
got-
waiting.
Zark makes it.
Hmm.
Saren does not.
Yeah, I got cheated.
So Zark and Alistair, you're gonna give me it's Constitution, since you have to do all three events within a certain span of time. So straight con roll.
Oh, I totally got this.
Zark gets a 16.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
Alistair
I
gets,
watched that roll back.
with a
It was
16.
like a 19 and it rolled back.
You get second place, giving you 50 drachma in medals. And either one of you can share the story, either Alistair of how you didn't place, Zark of how you got second, or both. Let's start with
I'd
Alistair.
like to hear Alistair.
Yeah.
I don't think I need the extra points since I'm not really in any events.
Well, at least
But-
you got third at least.
Yeah, feeling good, like started off good in the first event, like leading the pack, and then just from partying too late last night, started slowing down and seeing one person pass and then another, and just couldn't keep up the start that I had.
Yeah, when did you end? In running, climbing, or swimming?
Swimming.
Oh, so you made it to the third one. All right, take Olympic gold for that share. How about you, Zark? How'd you get second?
Well, started on pace with Alistair. Couldn't believe that he was keeping up with a bull like me and just going and going. And honestly, like him being at my side, it just made me want to push harder and harder. And then we got into the climbing, and I don't know if you know how minotaurs like us climb, but it's not very easy. And I started lagging behind further and
You're not
further
like a mountain
and
goat?
further. Yeah, barely, except to add, like 1,000 pounds. But sure. Um, and eventually, I got to the top, and I see Alistair out there heading for the lake, and I'm running after him, and I see him just slowing down and slowing down. And as I'm swimming, I kind of patted him on the butt to be like, "Hey, keep going!" As I
Meh.
swam past him like a freaking cow in water, and I just persevered as best as I could.
My feet
Second
don't
is all I
provide
could get.
much propulsion forward. They're just
Oh, come on, Zark did it. Olympic gold inspiration for Zark there. So, we are moving to the last of the preliminary games, which is jumping, the long jump. You need to be trained in athletics or acrobatics, or you could have a strength or dex score of 15 or higher. If you have any feat or ability related to enhanced jumping, or you could roll an athletics or acrobatics skill check of DC 12 or higher to qualify, to participate, I should say.
I'll see how far I can jump. Just a shot. Believe in me.
Well, you have a dex of 15 or higher, so you're rolling acrobatics. Okay.
Oh, damn!
Yeah, 24.
Yeah.
You're likely going to be in first place. Does anybody else want to participate in the long jump?
Well, of course.
You're doing a
What's
dex
it do,
check. It's athletics or
dex
acrobatics.
check.
Athletics or
I don't
acrobatics.
have a dex high enough. I
Right.
need 15 higher, right?
In order to just automatically participate, but if you want to try to get in, you need to do athletics or acrobatics and beat a 12. Okay, now you can roll a strength or dex with the d20 to see if you can see what place you get. Hey, 18, Alistair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those goat,
Yeah.
those goat legs help you jump.
What about you, Zark?
So again, we can't use things like levitate, right?
Correct. But if you have something that enhances jumping, you could do that.
No, I don't.
Wait, did you...
Yay!
25.
My
Did you,
gosh.
oh, yeah, because you have a strength of 15 or higher. So, yes, 25, which means you are able to jump into first place just a millimeter in the sand beyond Saren's jump. Alistair closely behind you, all placed first, second, and third accordingly. First place, again, bringing you 100 drachma, second place 50, and third place 25. Let's start with third place, Alistair. Tell us how that went for you.
I've observed a jumping technique that I've used, and it was I ran. At first, I jumped with one leg, then the other leg, and then finally on the third leg, I pushed off as hard as I could and as far as I could make it, and thought it was solid enough to win gold.
Did you say you jumped from your third leg?
Yeah, I
Staff.
jumped 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Olympic gold inspiration. Okay, Saren, you actually had jumped first, thinking that you were a sure winner. What was it like to see Zark get a little inch above you?
Confused as hell. He's 5 times heavier than me. How did he get an inch in front of me? It's like I'm lighter, he's heavier. Doesn't make no sense. Doesn't make no sense. We're
Yeah,
confused.
strong legs. Do you want to
Big
share any
game.
story about it?
Me or is
Me?
Crystal?
Yeah, you're
Sorry.
second place, Saren.
Okay. I just run. I just use less energy as much as possible and get to the end and use all my energy in that one jump to get as far as I can.
All right.
Get my-
You thought it was a sure win until you see. Go ahead, Zark.
Yeah, I'm feeling good after a lot of these games. I've placed in first, and I know I can do it. And I just summon the inner bull inside of me. And as I'm getting ready, like, I don't even realize it, but my feet are just, like, pounding the ground, like, ready to go. And as soon as I go, like, the momentum of my feet already going just carries me to this jump that just barely squeaks by the top place finisher at the time, and allowing me to get just one more win.
Excellent. Olympic gold inspiration. King Acasus announces that is the end of the preliminary events. The beginning of the grand spectacles will be tomorrow. Please, everyone, enjoy the wine festival in the streets of Mytros. Drink responsibly, and we will see you tomorrow at sunup, where we will honor the titans and the gods with each event that we lead. Be prepared for the battle or the challenge of leaping spires, Kira Kart, the Grand Prix, and many other events. And the crowd cheers, and people
Spires?
start. Yeah, there's one called.
I got lucky on jumping.
Cool. Well, I believe it's 10 o'clock Eastern, isn't it?
9:59.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got 1 minute.
Well, the next thing I was going to do is do the wine festival play. You guys get to one of the sort of theater spaces if you want to see the play, or you guys could just go celebrate and drink in Stygian Row. It's up to you.
Let's do it.
He's supposed to go participate.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought you were supposed to talk to the satyr.
I'm going to Stygian Row.
All right. You head over to Stygian
Go
Row.
to the.
It's even more.
Alistair's gonna go lick his wounds.
It's even more